Recording with external microphone. System sound volume set to 100%.
Hello everyone. You see, this is my sixth voice note to you, and so far we have covered, introduction to poetry. That is, we now have a fair idea of how English poetry evolved and what are the various trends and movements. And also, we have a good idea of how to understand poetry. So this brings us to the text then. But before starting text, a few things remain to be discussed related to the text. I hope you've got Kaleidoscope, the book in your course. If you haven't, I'll advise you to download it from the website of NCERT, and you can take it in your pen drive and later on connect it to your PC or laptop and read it, because during these days of lockdown it's hard to get a printed copy of that. Difficult, really. But if you can get hold of one by borrowing the book from some of your seniors, it's okay. But until you have the book, I'll be reading out aloud and rather slowly so that you can understand easily. Okay, so now today I plan to give you the meanings of the difficult words in the poem. Then I'll give you the theme of the poem, and afterwards, I'll give you the features of metaphysical poetry, a critical view of metaphysical poetry and poets, and a remark, T.S. Eliot's remark on Donne, and then we'll discuss it. After doing this, we will come to the poem. So please get hold of a pen and paper. If you don't have it right now, you can pause the recording and get the necessary material and then replay the recording and note it down. So first, as I said, the meanings. You see, in the introduction to Donne, there are a few words which I would like to explain. So let's see, this first expression here is vibrancy of language. To vibrate is to echo. Vibrancy of language means using language in order to create multiple meanings. Startling, surprising. Diction, use of words in literature or pattern of using words. And then we have Anglicanism. Anglicanism is the doctrine of the Reformed Church of England. So these were three words from the introduction. Now some of the words occurring in the poem. Well, I've told you earlier that in this poem you will come across the additional E in a number of words. For example, the shadows will be spelt as SHAWADOWSE. Don't get confused by that. Okay, so the first word is shadow. This is the main image, one of the main images in the poem. Shadow, as you know, is a reflection, parchai as we call it. So this is used to establish a contrast between light and darkness, and it has its various symbolic meanings, which we will find out when we do the text. Then you see love's philosophy. Love's philosophy, actually in love the apostrophe has been dropped. So philosophy of love means wisdom of love. wisdom of love. Tread, that's Tread. This means the manner of walking, or to walk, treading, to tread on one's toes. You see, whilst, whilst, whilst means during. Infant in this context means initial. In fact, the phrase is infant love. If you take it out from the poem in isolation, it will mean love for a child. But within the context of the poem, it implies initial stages of love. Yes, initial stages of love. Disguise. To disguise is to hide, and whenever it's used as noun in the poem, it refers to a changed appearance, different shapes of shadow. Diligent. Diligent means showing care, persevering or persistent, or I repeat, persevering, Persevere, Persevering, persevering, or persistent, 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 or effective. So this is diligent for you. Now, faint. To faint is to become weak, decline. The word dine, Thine, dine, in this context means then, Then. Decay. Decay is waste away. Constant, that means that which remains the same all the time. There's another phrase, brave clearness. Now, brave is an adjective, and if you take out the phrase from the poem in isolation, it will mean extreme clearness, clearness at its best. And this clearness may be any kind of clearness, like clearness of the sky, clearness of the field, clearness of the sea or the river or the lake. But in the context of the poem, brave clearness means broad daylight, broad clearness. That is, when the sun is at its highest and when the sunlight is spread everywhere, and there is not a tinge of shadow or darkness anywhere in the field. So this then is brave clearness. And so these were some of the difficult words from the poem. When we do the poem, I'll explain things more. Now, you see, you please note down the theme of the poem. So please begin. Thematically, the poem deals with Donne's concept of love. Donne's with apostrophe S. Donne's concept of love. Full stop. I repeat, thematically, the poem deals with Donne's concept of love. Full stop. He believes that true love is constant. that true love is constant, yet dynamic, comma, consistent, comma, selfless, and eternal. Full stop. It is constant in the sense that it is constant in the sense that the passion of love the passion of love always remains the same. Always remains the same. While it is dynamic, while it is dynamic in the sense that it always keeps on growing. It always keeps on growing in intensity. Full stop. True love is also a source of perpetual, perpetual, perpetual joy, as well as a guiding force for the lovers. Full stop. Most of these characteristics of genuine love are suggested by way of a conceit, conceit, conceit. Full stop. Conceit is a comparison. There is something like metaphysical conceit. I'll talk of it later. So, by way of a conceit. Full stop. The poet compares true love with now start inverted comma. ये 3-4 वर्ड्स इन्वर्टेड कॉमा में आएंगे. Growing, growing, comma, and full constant light. कॉमा के अंदर I repeat, growing and full constant light. Commas closed. Full stop. He also believes that genuine love never never declines, DECLINS, sorry, declines, full stop. According to him, comma, the decay of love is, comma, in fact, comma, the death of love. The death of love. Full stop. So this is the theme. I read it again so that if you have missed a few words or may not have been able to pick up a few words, you can compare it. Please carefully compare it. Thematically, comma, the poem deals with Donne's concept of love, apostrophe S in Donne. He believes that true love is constant yet dynamic, comma, consistent, comma, selfless and eternal, full stop. It is constant in the sense that the passion of love always remains the same, while it is dynamic in the sense that it always keeps on growing in intensity. True love is also a source of perpetual joy as well as a guiding force for the lovers. Most of these characteristics of genuine love are suggested by way of a conceit. The poet compares true love with, यहाँ से inverted comma शुरू होता है, growing, comma, and full constant light, commas closed, full stop. He also believes that genuine love never declines. According to him, the decay of love is in fact the death of love. Now, we come to characteristics of metaphysical poetry. Please note, I'll explain them later. Wit and conceit, comma, logic and intellect, argumentative approach, fusion of thought and feeling, direct utterances, abrupt beginning of the poem, unusual imagery, etc. Remember, when you will be asked to attempt a critical appreciation, you should mention all these things in your answer. Now, I told you about T.S. Eliot while talking about the 20th century poets. So he was a critic also, and he had his one of his remarks on metaphysical poets and Donne is very famous. So please take it, and later I'll explain it. So Eliot said, E-L-I-O-T, Eliot said, the metaphysical poets felt their thoughts, T-H-E-I-R there, thoughts as immediately as the odor, O-D-O-U-R, odor of a rose. Full stop. Now it's about Donne. By the same critic, Eliot said about Donne, a thought to Donne was an experience, full stop. It modified his sensibility, 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 full stop. Now please keep two words in mind. Metaphysics, let's first discuss these two words. Meta, met, M-E-T, met, M-E-T-A, meta, and meth, M-E-T-H, meth. These are all prefixes in the sense of with or among. With or among. And physics, as you know, is the science of properties of matter. The science of properties of matter. Now let me check the time. I think I have taken already more than 20 minutes. So in the next audio note, we will discuss these features one by one and discuss the theme also, and then we'll come to the poem itself. So for the time being, it's goodbye from me.
Device unlocked. What? Play button disabled. Pause. Save button. Pause button.